about this transaction.
Right. Equity value $72 billion, and total enterprise value $82.7 billion at this point.
That's with the debt piece of it.
That's with the debt.
Right.
It is one of the most storied, Warner Brothers, one of the most storied studios and entities in Hollywood, obviously. And it culminates, I guess, with Zaslav able to deliver, I guess you would say, to shareholders at this point of Warner Brothers, a heck of a lot better than $12 or $11 a share.
Given where it had fallen to.
Given where it had fallen to.
The big question on the regulatory side is going to be, the argument effectively here is that if you look at the Paramount transaction, that would have effectively taken out a studio, right? In this case, you're not taking out a studio. That's a big part of the argument. The other argument that Netflix is effectively going to have to make, and Time Warner is going to have to make, or I should say Warner Brothers is going to have to make effectively, is to argue that it's not just looking at the marketplace in the context of streaming itself, but to look at it in the context of time spent online, eyeballs and the like. You're going to have to effectively include YouTube viewing and Amazon Prime and so many others, so that you're not just looking at the paid streaming business. What you looking at there?
I'm looking at the cash component is $23.25. $23.25, $4.50 in the shares of Netflix common stock. That comes up to 27.75. There's collars on the shares. This is going to be a complex.
It's going to be a complex deal. And by the way, this is going to be in the regulatory mix for a long time.
It could close in a year and a half. That's what I think they would hope that it's able to close. Mm-hmm. Does Zaslav run Warner Brothers, the studio?
I'm trying to look
and
through
HBO
this to find
Max?
out. What I also don't know is, and look, and this is where the next piece of this comes. Does Paramount try to go hostile? Is there some other element of this that could happen? I don't know. Wow. What do you think regulators do? Jason Kilar, who runs, or ran, I should say, Hulu for a very long time, came out last night. I don't know if you saw the quote. He said, if I was tasked with doing this, I cannot think of a more effective way to reduce competition in Hollywood than selling.
Guys, it's probably worth taking a look at shares of Netflix just longer term on this, because it's a market cap of about $438 billion. It's the media company that has been the darling of the street. It's off its 52-week high, which was $134.12. 103.22 is where it closed yesterday. But you're still talking about, if you look over the last 5 years or even the history of the stock, that was an all-time high when it was sitting at those levels. It has done very well, particularly